You are now tuned in to Poppy Chulo Radio, your web portal for the best in pop culture news and interviews. The following is a Poppy Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Poppy Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Summer Camp Science Fiction / Double Feature, a celebration honoring the late night double feature picture show, a PoppyChuloRadio.com original series, Poppy Chulo Radio, pop culture on demand. I am your host and camp owner, Jeffrey Aruz. During this special edition of Summer Camp, we are going to discuss every single film mentioned in the opening song of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Please welcome my co-hosts, who've been caught in a celluloid jam. Ticket taker, Legionnaire.
And lo, the beast looked upon the face of beauty, and it stayed his hand from killing. And from that day, it was as one dead.
Yes. That was good. That was very dramatic, Legionnaire.
Thanks.
Yeah. Concessions connoisseur, Parker James.
Hi.
And Watashi wasta, yes. And popcorn popper, Osiris.
I tell you, there's something on that island that no white man has ever seen.
Right?
Okay.
I feel like that line is. You know what? I'm gonna talk about it.
It's rife with so many things.
Yes. All right, it's time to fire up the film projector so that we can discuss 1933's King Kong. Here's the official synopsis of the film. A film crew goes to a tropical island for a location shoot where they capture a colossal ape who takes a shine to their blonde starlet and bring him back to New York City. Oh, shout out to Faye Ray, who just visited us from the great beyond. Yes. Okay, a couple of things before I ask the big question. First of all, we are continuing going through the song Science Fiction Double Feature that opens up the Rocky Horror Picture Show, or the Rocky Horror Show, when it was a stage production. And this is the line that references this movie, and I quote, "Then something went wrong for Fay Ray and King Kong. They got caught in a celluloid jam." Okay, and the second thing that I wanted to reference is the fact that in 1991, this film was deemed culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant by the Library of Congress and selected for preservation in the National Film Registry. So it's funny. We've been doing this whole thing, right? Now, this is the fourth film that we've done that was referenced in the song Science Fiction Double Feature for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And all four of these movies thus far have been added to the U.S. National Film Registry for being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. I think that's really interesting. I don't know if that's going to continue on, right? But as of right now, the first four films referenced have been. So that's it's fascinating. Okay, so the big question from the year 1933, King Kong. Have you ever seen it before? Have you heard of it? Are you familiar with it? Have you ridden on the attraction at Universal Studios Park on either coast? Parker?
I don't think I've ever ridden the ride. However, yeah, I've seen this movie in a film studies class in college, and then I believe I saw when I was younger. I don't remember if I did or didn't, but I definitely saw it in film studies class. So yeah, I've seen it before.
Osiris?
Yes, I've seen this movie and other iterations of King Kong. I've not ridden on the rides.
You've ridden on other things.
Yes, that are King Kong shaped
Oh.
or sized,
Oh.
allegedly.
Oh. You got the trifecta. Legionnaire, what about you? Not riding things, but you know.
I'm not aware of the attractions associated with King Kong, but I have seen the movie on several occasions, and was pleased to view it yet again.
And I've seen it. It's been a long time. I feel like I saw this like as a kid, just on TV one day, or maybe after I rode the ride at Universal Studios. I was curious to watch the movie. But yeah, I've seen it before. It's been a long time. Um, there, like for me, rewatching this, the thing that was most memorable is all like the New York City stuff. So like at the end of it, like a lot of the island stuff, I really did not fully remember, bits and pieces here and there. So it was almost like watching it anew, like with a clean slate. But there were a lot of little things that I remembered. Yeah, so okay, so let's talk about this. And the first thing that I want to talk about is honestly the technology. Because once again, we're watching these movies and for the most part, the movies that are referenced in the song science fiction double feature, they are older movies, right? They're movies from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and that sort of thing. And in this one, much like the couple of other ones that we've seen, in the 30s, I mean, it's dealing with technology in a very primitive way, right? Like they are inventing stuff as they go along from, showing someone invisible in The Invisible Man, or all the various things that we saw with models and this, or the other that we saw in both The Day the Earth Stood Still and in the Flash Gordon serial that we saw. Here, we got to see basically, um, you know, stop motion animation, in its very early stages. We got to see matte paintings being used. We got to see rear projections being used where, they're projecting something, behind, the actors and they have to act on what's on the screen, right? We're seeing miniatures being used. Like it's fascinating to see like where we've come from, right? Because we're getting close to it being the 100-year anniversary of this film. And we have come a long way. In the year 2024, when we are recording this, we've got, the latest high-tech VFX and CGI and technology that's being used on film as well as on television. But this was almost 100 years ago. It is that technology at a very primitive stage, but it's still incredibly impressive. Like I was in awe. Parker said this in our previous podcast, but the term movie magic, I mean, this was movie magic. Like it was incredibly fascinating to watch. The technology was, very impressive for the time, state of the art in the year 1933 when this was released. But let's talk about it. Like, who wants to jump in first? Let's talk about the technology that was used, the miniatures, the matte paintings, the rear projections, the stop motion animation, all of that good stuff that we got to see to make King Kong, as well as the dinosaurs and the whole tropical location spring to life.
They were definitely using all the tools that they had.
Yeah.
To the fullest extent. Like they wanted to make sure they used, like I'm sure someone walked to the studio like, guys, check this out. And then he put out a little table and he's like, check this out. We got a camera. We got little action figures that look like them. This is gonna be what we're gonna be playing with, y'all. Look at King Kong. Look how big he is. He's small here. Put him in a camera. Baby. Like imagine the gay that walked into that room and explained this to all of the producers and directors. And yeah, like they used all of the technology that they had to the fullest extent, and it shows. I mean, yeah, like yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can see the hard work that they definitely put into it as well. Because unless it's a stop motion film, like a lot of movies today don't use such realistic, and the props aren't as effective. Like
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeah. I read
Yeah,
that it took them 7 weeks to complete the fight between Kong and the Tyrannosaurus.
makes sense.
And I also read that this was one of the highest grossing films of the 1930s. It made over $4 million, which at the time was a lot of money. And it also saved RKO. Like
Mm.
RKO was going down and this film saved it. It revived it. It revived the studio.
I can definitely see that. My favorite things with the technologies that you had mentioned, like one of my favorite things was the blending of live action and stop motion. Like whenever that one sailor climbed the tree, like you could see him climb the tree, and then the camera pans, camera cuts, and then it's stop motion, and it's Kong, picking the guy out of the tree. Like they did a really good job of combining um, the sets that they had, where people were either in Kong's mouth, in Kong's hand, and blending it into the actual stop motion scene. I thought that was absolute. Like they did an amazing job with that. That was one of my favorite things about this movie. Like the first time that when after Kong throws all the guys off the cliff from the log, and he's fighting with was that Jack
Mm.
Yes.
underneath? I'm trying to remember if that was
Yes, Jack.
Like, oh, okay, wait. Yeah, like that blending of a scene. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, because you had stop motion, um, Kong up top, and then live action Jack, down below, and we are led to believe that they are fighting, like it for the time. It's seamless. It fits. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Anytime that they had any of um the bleed over of live action and stop motion, I thought that was very, very wonderful.
Hmm.
Yeah. Legionnaire, what about you? Anything else to add in regards to the technology that was used throughout the film?
No, this basically said it all. I thought it was for the 30s. It was magical. I mean, I don't know any other word to put to it. Um, Again, I mean, it's been said the way that they were able to blend the stop motion animation with the live action, with the prop that they had to use to make it look realistic. I mean, it all felt very seamless. I mean, obviously to today's sensibilities, we can see what it is, but for the time, yeah, I can see how this movie could have been easily terrifying, for folks that have seen it back then for the first time. Something like that clearly had not been done with movies before.
Yes. She's not here, but where would this fall in the Deidre Scarometer? No, she wouldn't have been scared of this, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know this would have hit the scare meter. I think she would have enjoyed it though.
Yes. No, I agree with that too. Okay, so I feel like we can all agree that King Kong was on the Atkins diet, right? A lot of meat.
He was. He had to fight dinosaurs, so
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he did have to do that
He
too.
had to be tough.
He was hungry, yeah. Well, this leads to, let's talk about a body count. Once again, we're going to guess. Price is Right rules apply. So, how many people did King Kong kill?
Do the dinosaurs count as People.
Well, he did say people immediately.
Well,
So
let's just say body count, because I only have the body count number. I don't know if that includes the dinosaur, but I would assume yes. I mean, he murked him.
He messed up a lot of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so let's see who's gonna go first. Let's start off with you since you're being chatty, Osiris. Please don't say
I'll
400.
say it definitely wasn't 400. He didn't take out a train. Oh no, he did take out a train. Shit. I was not
But
expecting.
did people die on that train?
Mm.
That is a question. I'm gonna shoot low and say 42.
All right, we've got 42. Legionnaire, what about you?
I'm going to say 53. Why not? 53.
Okay, we've got a 53. Parker,
what was that last number?
53.
53. I'm gonna go with 1, Drew.
Okay. I feel like we just cut and paste from the previous podcast because once again, two of you have overbid. And Parker wins because the correct answer is 40.
Wow.
You were there, Osiris.
40.
Yeah.
Wow.
Close to your age. But anyway.
Who?
Mm.
It's still below.
Yeah, it's still below. Yeah.
Still
Yeah, I
over
was definitely curious about the number of people on the train. I guess they just got injured.
Yeah, they got shooketh.
They were definitely shook.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about Kong and his body count. We've talked about the visual effects. Let's talk about the characters now. Let's the lead of this is Fay Wray, right? As Anne.
Coulter.
No. What did we think of Anne? Scream Queen, right? One of the OG Scream Queens, I feel.
Yes. Yeah, she definitely gave OG Scream Queen.
Yeah. There was an interview that I read a quote from it in which Fay Wray basically is like, yeah, I did a lot of screaming in that movie. And now I'm like, no kidding.
That's all she did.
Mm.
She didn't have too many lines outside of all the screaming she did.
Outside
But
of that, the petty theft and questioning if she was going to be a prostitute, like.
Right.
Which that should never be a question. You should just
Well, in the 1930s, maybe, you know. Yeah. She did get a little love action though. Her and Jack.
Yeah.
Kong too.
Yeah. He's like, women should not be on this ship. Well, I'm not a woman. It was they had a little 1930s banter, all that kind of stuff. And I guess, in the 1930s, you fall in love really fast. Although I think it took a moment for them to get to where they were going on that ship. So, over that time, they fell in love.
There's definitely some flirting.
Yes. I liked Jack. He was kind of tough in the beginning, but then he ended up being a really good character.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we got Carl Denham, the man that started all this.
10 out of 10 don't like that dude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He likes a spectacular.
He does. He does.
He definitely needed he needed somebody there to be like, I understand you like to discover these things, but maybe, pump your brakes here and there. Like whenever he said, oh, let's bring Kong back, I would have been the first one to say, no, we're not doing that.
I still have no idea how they did that. I know we have to do movie magic and suspension of disbelief, but I'm like, they're just going to tug it along on a raft behind, and like, are you gonna throw those gas bombs on it like when you see it moving a little bit, like every single time?
We asked that question.
because it was not going to take them 4 hours to get back to New York City. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they
Well,
did get it back. I
exactly.
still have no idea how, but once again, suspension of disbelief in the 1930s. They were much more gullible people in the 1930s, I guess.
Also, like, rogue waves, then the uncertainty of the ocean. But sure,
Yes.
absolutely. So,
A monsoon.
Mm.
I don't know.
earthquake in Japan that affects them. I don't know. Like
Yes,
the things
Godzilla
that
appears.
like right, like you're in Godzilla's territory, but like stay out of his zone. But anyway, yeah, so many things could have gotten in the way. However, they got lucky.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Mm.
Yes, this is a film in the 1930s. We've got to talk about how race was expressed in this film.
Race?
I know. Do you think there was race in this movie?
Oh my lord.
Well, yeah.
We have indigenous people and their portrayal. Fortunately, we didn't really have a lot of blackface. We did have a Mexican-American man playing the witch doctor, so I guess that was a little blackface, but it's a person of color playing black. We have also subtext. Some people seem to find King Kong and Anne's relationship to be allegorical. The directors and the writers, they all said that that's not the case, but people seem to read something into it. And especially because at the end of it, it's Kong's demise is caused by this white woman. His love for this white woman. Anyway,
Yeah.
but so some people feel like there's subtext in there in regards to that. I don't know if either of you feel that there's subtext, but definitely the portrayal of indigenous people as kind of primitive and savages. We saw that a lot, with what we saw with the indigenous people that they encounter in this movie. I did read a quote. Some people, one of the critics was like, the language that they gave the indigenous people, and I was like, I mean, it's supposed to be a foreign language, right? So I didn't understand where they were going with that. They found that to be sort of racist, but at the end of the day, I mean, you're finding, people that don't speak your language. I mean, they're gonna have to speak something, right?
Right.
But let's talk about this. So who wants to jump in first?
I wasn't necessarily troubled by it. I mean, for the purposes of the plot, it was fine. I mean, it was the 30s. I mean, clearly things can be read into it in today's sensibilities. But for my curiosity, I always wondered, what happened to all those other women that were sacrificed?
Oh,
That was always what I was, because clearly, there were women that were given to this beast before Ann Darrow came along, and I was like, okay, well, what happened? What happened to them? Did they get eaten, or did they just die in the forest? What?
Did consumption get them? Like so many different.
Yeah, those are the things that stuck in my mind.
a quick shout out
to
the woman that played the native mother, Etta McDaniel, sister of Hattie McDaniel. She was the one whose child was like in the middle of the road as Kong was like stomping through the village, and she goes and picks up her child.
Yes, and also to add a little bit of Black cinema history, as the film debuts of Ruby Dandridge and Vivian Dandridge.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Ruby Dandridge was one of the native dancers, and Vivian Dandridge was one of the Chirin.
Aw,
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm actually glad that there wasn't too much blackface.
Yeah, I mean, I would have preferred this as opposed to blackface.
Exactly. Like, okay, it's an indigenous people, Like if it would have been blackface, I would have been like much more offended,
Hmm.
or like Legionnaire said, like troubled. I like like I'm very glad that they went to black people and said, hey, we need people of color to play this tribe instead of doing blackface. Like that. Honestly, I was very very relieved when they did a lot of the close-ups of the villagers, and they were full on black people. I was in love with that because I was like, okay, they're not doing blackface. They're not doing any other usual 1930s tropes when it comes to people of color.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was thinking it could have easily have gone the other way.
With ease, no, like very easily. Like
Yeah.
that's the easy route that would have
Mhm.
generally been chosen, honestly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's difficult when you have a story, right, where you have like indigenous people and like how you're going to represent them, how you're going to express them on film. And I think they did handle it better than other films in that era.
yeah.
I mean, as best as they
Yeah.
could, right?
I would definitely agree to that. I would definitely agree to that because some of the other movies that we've discussed during that time, like they were very quick to do blackface, and it was just like, ugh, it really
Mhm.
took from the movie.
Yeah. So, are we Team King Kong?
After he took care of all of those dinosaurs, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say so.
I mean,
I
because
love
at the end of the day, you've got these people coming into his domain, right? Causing a ruckus. All he's doing is defending himself. And he thought the girl was his tribute, right?
Yeah,
He doesn't know
exactly.
any better.
Or does he? He's an 8.
Well, I mean,
So
she does
therefore-
look a little different than the usual ones that he gets, right? They're like,
Right.
oh, okay, this
Yeah.
one's a little shinier.
Yeah, he's used to like, thighs and
Thighs, yes.
but this
Legs,
time
hip,
he
and
got a little bit
legs,
of
hips, body.
exactly. This time he got breasts.
He's got now this pale, shiny girl. I was like, what the
Right.
hell is this?
Hmm. This golden woman.
So I
And they're
This-
supposed to be his bride.
yeah.
Which does that mean they have to take dictation?
Well,
Right?
movie magic, we can just not worry about that.
I know, right? Because
Hmm.
he'd split those women in half.
That's probably why they don't last that long.
Mm. Well.
But one of the things that kind of piqued my curiosity, like during the this discussion so far, the photographer Denham.
Hmm.
Do you think he knew about the ceremony?
Oh, that's interesting. Because, I mean, clearly he knew about Kong. And he
Yeah,
knew that there would be, something interesting there, because it was like from what he had heard, right? Because this is an
Yeah.
island that's not really mapped out anywhere. So this is one that, they had happened to stumble upon, wreckage, and, one of the native people and that kind of thing. And they described the island, and so he knew about
Lots of
the walls that was
superstition.
exactly
Yeah.
the superstition, the walls holding back something that the indigenous people were kind of frightened of. He knew that Kong was out there. I don't think he knew exactly what Kong was. So I would guess that he did not know about the ceremony because all of that looked like a shock to everybody when they saw kind of like the ceremony to, give away the bride, the initial bride that they
Which-
had.
Well, it like that makes sense. It's just one of those things that like he was very very quick to rush the whole thing along. Like hey, we got to get there before the monsoons. Before this timing and this timing. Like even down to him getting Faye. Like it felt really really rushed. Like he wanted it. Like he may not have known about the ceremony, but he knew, I feel like he knew that he needed to get to the island by a specific time.
Well, I think
So he was
no,
rushing
just
it.
because the ship had to leave, was already leaving. Like, I hear what you're saying. I don't think he was that deep into planning it, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think all of that was just a confluence of the situation. Like, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know what he was trying to do, though. That's the thing that I don't get. Like, I know he was trying to make a movie, right? And he wanted a woman because, apparently, the film goers, they wanted to see a woman because they wanted a romance, this, that, or the other. She was the only actor there. Like, who was she going to romance is my question, right? Like, she was the female star. There was like nobody else there. So I have no idea what this movie was supposed to be. Like, they were supposed to film something on location on this island, and clearly he wanted to capture something. And I mean, they ended up capturing
And
a lot.
yeah, and her reaction to it.
Yeah, I mean, she was just happy to get clothes and food. Let's just be for real. I mean, she was destitute. She was damn near ready to become a sex worker, I think. Stealing an apple. What kind of shopkeepers are open at 10 p.m. on a weeknight selling apples?
It's 30s, baby.
Oh, okay, good. How much did that apple
feel.
cost? 2 cents? He got a full $1 for it. He was happy. Maybe that apple cost a penny.
I don't know what things cost back in the day.
I will tell you what they cost. So the apple cost a penny. So he got a full $1. So he was like, shit, that's like 100 apples. She could take that one apple. Yeah. Right, Legionnaire?
Yes.
It works. Is the poppy math. Okay, so all right, so we talked about, well, actually, let's go into the dinosaurs, because we talked about the VFX, right? But let's talk about these dinosaurs, because what's interesting about this island, which never gets named, right? In the new movies, they call it Skull Island. The closest thing that we got in this movie, in the original movie, is that they call the mountain Skull Mountain, right? Because the island has this mountain that looks like a skull. In the newer movies, they call it Skull Island. But on this island, I mean, there's King Kong, right? But there are also dinosaurs, these beings, these animals that no longer exist. They're on this island. We got to see a Brontosaurus, a Stegosaurus, a Tyrannosaurus, an Elasmosaurus, the serpent-like thing. We got to see a pterodon. I mean, there were interesting animals. I mean, all of them stop motion, right? And we even got to see a really violent, couple-minute long battle between Kong and the Tyrannosaurus, which was fascinating. It was almost like foreshadowing of Kong versus Godzilla, right?
I can definitely see
yeah.
that. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Yeah.
It was really
'Cause
cool. I loved all the dinosaurs.
Because this movie had to have inspired a lot of kaiju and Godzilla movies. Did I say that right?
Kaiju?
Kaiju.
Taiju?
Yeah, kaiju. Yeah.
A Thai person and a Jewish person?
No.
Stop it!
Oh my lord.
Stop.
Oh my lord.
I'm gonna mute for a good 30 minutes.
But no Taiju. Kaiju.
Kaiju. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. That. Where it's, big monster stomping all over little big monster stomping all over buildings and things like that.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about how this movie was made? Like, where the idea came from? The director/producer had a dream about, a giant gorilla on top of, like, the Empire State Building. And so from that dream, he, he had the end point, right, of the story. So he backtracked it and created the story along with another writer of, you know, how to get there. But that's crazy. You know, a dream. It was all a dream. From Word Up Magazine, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D, in the limousine. No, but it's crazy,
Yeah.
right? Like it just started off as a dream and then he made it into reality. You know, even with the most primitive of movie magic, you know, the stuff that was technologically advanced at the time. But like getting all that stuff, combining all of the technologies, inventing some new stuff, and like, you know, creating this movie. It's kind of crazy. It goes to
Well,
show listeners that, you know, if you have a dream, you can make it happen.
yeah, because like that's like the big thing with science fiction. It's
Yes.
I don't know, to bring about these new technologies and new way of doing things.
Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the island. So let's talk about New York City. Because at the end of it all, Denham wants a show. He wants a spectacle. He did not make a movie, so he decides to turn Kong into the show. And I don't really know what the show is. Like, people are going there, they're paying $20, which clearly is a lot of money. Because that one man was happy with $1, right? So, you know, this show,
Right.
well, the show probably isn't $20 because the gentleman had invited someone. So let's say it's $10 per adults, right? Still, $10 is a lot of money because that one shopkeep was happy with the $1. So spending $20 you and a date to go see this show, and the only thing you're going to see is you're going to sit in these fancy seats and you're going to look up at the stage and his giant ass Kong. And that's
Right.
it? Like, he's not even doing tricks for you?
Well, you saw that one movie that Charlize Theron was in with Kong, and it was the same. It was given the same energy.
Mighty Joe Young?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Mm.
Wait,
Same
is that
energy.
really the Charlize Theron movie?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
No, I thought I was
Yeah.
quoting another movie. Okay, all right. Well, there you go.
No, that's the movie. But no, it was the same energy, except for that one, he was outside.
Oh, then
instead
they
of-
do love the blondes, don't they?
I mean, that's actually kind of where they got the obvious, inspiration. But yeah,
Although Fay
So
Ray
it's
was
like
wearing
energy.
a wig.
right.
Mm.
That was a good wig for 1930s. It stayed on her head.
Yeah.
They flung her around like a damn rag doll.
Because she was in fact a ragdoll.
I know she was for a lot of it. Yeah. But what kind of show were they getting? Like, I didn't really get that. Like, you just go there and you stare at Kong for like an hour and then you leave and you go get dinner?
Well,
yeah,
I
there's some
yeah.
music and some drumming and yeah.
like
The
the
eighth
only thing I
wonder
can
of the
think
world.
is the only thing I can think of is Denham just standing on stage, just talking smack about
Kong?
how
Like, I remember when my crew died. Like,
yeah, like he's just sitting there telling a story.
and he's going to do that shit every night?
I don't know. Was that the first night? I think
That was
the
first night. It was grand opening. And he said he was going to do it every night. He was on Broadway.
Every night.
I don't know. That shit.
That was
boring.
ambitious. That was very.
I mean, you go
ambitious.
see it once. It's not like, you know, you go see it again. It is a Hamilton.
I mean, if he would have done it like Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows, he might have been able to make it last. But
No, those are 6 shows a week. Plus the matinee.
every night.
Yeah, that's too much. I don't really understand what the show was. But I guess people were shocked and people were terrified. That old lady with the glasses, I mean, she didn't know what she had signed up for. She nearly got trampled.
She did.
Yeah. Okay, so poor Kong, he's tied up. What did they say that he had on? Like a titanium girdle or something to chain him up?
Chrome steel.
Chrome steel, there you go. Very modern for the time. But unfortunately, all the flash photography that they were doing scared Kong, thinking they were hurting, and that chrome steel did not hold him for long. He bust
No,
through,
Not the same.
the crowds ran, and Kong caused a ruckus in New York City. Can we all give a brief shout out? Let's pour one out for the homie. The poor brunette that was sleeping with her window open.
Right? Running her own Christian woman business.
Minding her own Christian woman business. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Christian situation with the fact that King Kong was strapped to a cross, Christ style. Osiris said, "Oh." Anyway, but that poor Christian woman asleep with her window open, although that would have been quite a draft. Like, she could have catched the pneumonia or the consumption. Anyway.
Or the dysentery.
All of that. And the polio. But she was sleeping with her window open, and then all of a sudden, because he thinks it's the girl, he pulls her out, and then he looks at her, he's like, "Oh, that's not my toy," and then throws her down.
Right.
Tosses her like
rude.
Rubbish.
Just rude. Didn't even put her back.
He should have put her back.
Didn't place her back gently in her bed, just like, oh.
Or maybe even ungently.
Next.
Do we think that lady survived? Parker, did that lady survive?
No, she didn't survive.
All right. And then we had the Metro Rail situation. We call it the Metro Rail here in Miami-Dade County. But the monorail, whatever you want to call it, like, it got derailed, and then he started shaking the car, and people were falling out like he was shaking a Cracker Jack box. Oh, there were white people in there. Oh, there was a little joke in there, wasn't it?
Good job.
I know, I didn't notice it until now. But yeah, so there was that situation. I don't even know how he found her, but he sniffed around through the city, right?
Well, yeah, she has a particular. White people smell like what was that scent that we were talking about?
The wet potato chips.
Wet potato chips. There it is. So, yeah, he was easy to find. Well, although the city was full of wet potato chips, he knew exactly that this one smelled like Lay's brand wet potato chips.
Lay's sour cream and onion.
Wow.
See, the distinct smell hit Osiris's nose right now. I was like, oh, yes, that's true.
Oh, my God. Not you saying sour cream and onion because it's white.
Yeah. The double white, right? Anyway. So then we get the most memorable moment in this movie, right? King Kong climbing the Empire State Building. They have to call in the biplanes to shoot him down. They're hoping that he puts the girl down, and he does on the very tippy top of the building, which I was like, in the beginning, I was like, how the fuck is she getting down? Because I don't remember how they saved her. But there was a little ladder, and there was a door, so she was fine. And then this is where I was like, I'm still Team King Kong. Even after all this damn stuff, because you take this, I was going to call him a man, but you take this creature out of his natural habitat. You chain him up, and then you freak him out with the flashing lights, and then he causes a ruckus because he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know about the city. He doesn't know about the bright lights and the buildings and the cars and the monorail. He doesn't know about that shit. He's just trying to find his girl and to live his best life. He could have gone down to the plaza and used his dad's credit card and rented a room and, caused a ruckus for Tim Curry and all that kind of stuff. He could have done that, but he didn't. He roamed the streets of New York and climbed the Empire State Building, as one does when they're frustrated, right, Legionnaire?
Yes.
Nobody caught the Home Alone 2 reference, but it's okay.
I definitely did. I laughed. I don't know if you heard it, but I chuckled.
Okay, good. But yeah, he was just trying to live his best life. And then all of a sudden they start attacking him and they're shooting him and he notices the blood. And then he realizes that his life is over. And so he picks up his girl, puts her back down, and he gently that'll do, pig. That'll do. You notice that, right? He gently patted her, to say farewell, my girl. And then he crashes down to his death.
I am so mad. I'm so mad at Denham.
Exactly.
The moment he said, why don't we just chain him up and bring him back? I was like, no. Just leave him. Just leave him there.
Right. I mean, it would have been one thing to say, okay, we're going to come to this area, use their surroundings, and make a picture. But now you're like snatching this creature out of its native habitat. No clue or any kind of plan as to how you're going to care for it, but you want to stick it on display.
Like while Kong was sleeping on the beach, he could have easily set up his little camera,
Yeah.
asked Faye to recreate the whole situation. I mean, yeah, they would have had to fight off the villagers for, destroying the village. But at least he would have gotten his film. Faye would have got her money for doing her acting. And they would have just, found some way of putting Kong back behind the wall. Yeah, the Empire State Building part wouldn't have happened. However, Kong would still be alive.
Yes.
Yes. He didn't need to die. Oh, when we were talking about the racism, we forgot to talk about Charlie. Shout out to Charlie.
Oh, yeah, the cook.
Yes. And him shouting about the black man. But anyway. Can I just say, when they kidnapped the girl, I mean, that was just, she deserved it. Like, she was palpitating after, I guess, that really hot kiss with Jack. And she was just like laying back on the damn thing, and then she got kidnapped. And I'm like, that's what you get you should have gone back to your damn room and fapped one out or something.
Sugar Glide?
Yeah. It was too much. I can't even believe she was about to get married to the man. Like, they move fast in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Ever since that damn Mae West movie we saw where she was engaged in like a week. I'm
I
like,
know.
they are some fast
People
people
die.
in the 1930s.
A few days on the boat, and he was in love. I was like, wait.
They are fast motherfuckers in the 1930s. I get.
People
Well, the
die
truth is,
dysentery regularly. Like, you got to be quick. You got to make sure you get that bank and be on that in the will before your husband dies of dysentery.
no, that's
or,
right, because they would die in their
cholera.
70s, right?
Yeah, the
They
life
died in their
expectancy
30s.
was really low in the 30s.
Yeah.
They died in their 40s and their 30s. So, if they're lucky, their 40s.
It's a lot. Pork and Kong is dead. And they kept on doing this whole thing of Beauty and the Beast. Their other thing is the Beauty and the Beast, the Beauty and the Beast, the Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to knock us over the head with the Beauty and the Beast, references. I mean, we kind of get it, right?
I mean, he was one Be Our Guest song short. I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to say.
You were going somewhere, you just didn't stick the landing.
Well, that's because I thought it was like I was thinking through it, and it made me laugh. So I ruined it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that worked. Or not. Okay.
No, it
Yeah.
did.
Was there anything that I missed, a tiny moment that anyone would like to chat about before we hand out our very own awards?
Let me check my Deidre approved notes. Oh, when the Brontosaurus knocked over the boat, I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, yes. Okay, first of all, they made a raft. They were like, let's just grab these broken twigs and let's make a raft. And they made a raft to carry all those motherfuckers. Like,
Totally
I mean,
possible.
it was
movie magic.
Anything's possible.
it was pretty good.
I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. And if a yellow pumpkin can become a golden carriage, then yeah, anything is literally possible.
It is possible.
Kim Possible is actually a good example.
Yes.
Yes. I definitely one of my favorite sets on this movie was the gate. I greatly enjoyed that set. That was of all of the visually stunning things in this movie, it was the gate.
All right. Yeah, the gate was nice. I agree. The whole set was really good. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm wondering like how they did it, because I mean that was a good set.
Yeah, it had to have been done in like multiple pieces, multiple directions. Like they did a really good job with that, with that
Yeah.
visual piece.
Also, fun little fact. You know how this movie opens up with the old Arabian proverb?
Mhm.
That Arabian proverb was actually written by the director.
Of course it was.
So yes. So it's not real.
Whitewashed. Fucking whitewashed.
Cultural appropriation.
Yes. Very much like Gwen Stefani used to be Harajuku.
Whoa.
Legionnaire, do you remember when Gwen Stefani woke up and she was Japanese?
I do actually.
Yes. Do you remember Madonna woke up, she was Japanese, but just for like half a second?
For a second, yeah.
But then Gwen Stefani was
For a bit,
Japanese
like,
for like
yeah.
a decade and a half.
Hmm.
Yeah. And nobody said anything.
No.
No.
Not even the Harajuku girls that were around her.
Oh.
We just all lived our lives like she was always Japanese.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway. It's like Lindsay Lohan when she was British, but moving on.
She's not British?
No. All right.
Well, which was Jamie Lee Curtis working with?
Oh yeah, we gotta, you know what? That's a conspiracy theory. I need to find out which one of the twins it was, but you know.
No, actually, that was Jamie Lee Curtis' question.
No, I know she did ask that.
Like she said,
I was going along with it.
Oh, Lord. But no, yeah, that was some good twin work. But yeah,
Yeah.
give out some awards.
Shout out to Haley Mills too. Yeah. All right, before we scream lights out, let's hand out some camp superlatives. Clearly, we got to go with this one, the Scream Queen.
Kong
Oh, Kong. Oh, that's a good one. Although-
and Faye, they
Yeah.
tied for Scream Queens.
There's a lot of screaming.
Mm.
Fun fact, the Kong scream, it's a lion and tiger's roar in reverse.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The diva,
Kong,
the she ain't no diva, Denim,
Denim.
Denim.
the ingenue,
I'll give it a... Ooh.
Hmm.
Jack.
the stunt
Yeah.
queen,
Denim.
Denim. Yeah.
the chaos agent,
Ooh. Anything that set Kong off.
So you mean them basically
Yeah.
traveling?
Right.
Yes.
The camera flashes at the event.
Yeah, the camera flashes, them taking Faye, him breaking through the gate, like, yeah, like whatever caused Kong to go on any of his rampages.
Mm.
the pink of perfection,
Who thought they were beautiful?
I'm gonna just throw out Anne.
Oh, no, but that's good. Yeah. I agree with that. I could actually see that. Yeah.
Who? Anne?
And
Mhm. Yeah.
this is so wrong, but I think Osiris will giggle at it, so I'm gonna say it.
No.
You know it's coming.
No. You're not.
Who had big dick energy?
Oh.
Oh my lord!
Mm.
Do I have to answer?
Well, I mean, you're about to anyway.
I mean, the most obvious choice would be Kong.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Special achievement in caucasity.
Denim.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The Elvira Award for Excellence in Cleavage. Kong?
Kong.
Yeah.
Kong.
Can we all agree Kong was nipply?
Well, yeah.
I was not.
He ate nipples.
Yeah.
I mean, they were right in your face, Osiris.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. You gonna put that in your spank bank?
No.
Okay, all right. Moving on. Oh, well, I mean, there were a lot of this. So, the kill of the night.
Kong.
Him dropping those dudes off the cliff.
Yeah, I was gonna say throwing the dudes off the log worked for me.
Because like just the special effect that they had.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the bottom of the cliff and you see these I mean, they're obviously dummies, but they're to represent the bodies that fallen down. And I thought they did a good job
Mm-hmm.
of portraying that.
The most actiony moment.
Kong.
Any one of the Kong rampages.
Yeah.
The most non-politically correct moment.
Kong.
Whew. Charlie.
Mm.
Oh, yes. The best usage of a cheesy special effect.
Kong.
Oh man.
Oh, that is accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've got everything covered. So now it's time to rate the film. Let's gather around the campfire to toast some marshmallows. It's time to rate this film on a 1 to 10 marshmallow scale. Let's start off with Parker.
Whew. Well, King Kong has definitely not have anything on me. And this movie, I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. It was good. I mean, for the time, the action packedness, the special effects that they used, the storyline that will, from that movie on, will continue to be used multiple times in many different ways throughout all of cinema to this day. Yeah, it was definitely a good movie. Would I watch it again? Maybe. On my own? Probably not. But yeah, 7 marshmallows. Put them in the shape of, let's make them hairy marshmallows. But big old nipples.
Hairy marshmallows with big old nipples.
Oh.
Very nice. Osiris?
I would like to rate King Kong of 1930 something or other. I can't do it like Deidre. 8 marshmallows shaped like all of the dinosaurs and Kong. I definitely enjoyed this movie. This is a fun watch. It was definitely fun to see like I've repeated it numerous times, the stop motion and live action blending. I thought that was very, very brilliant. If I could have one wish, I would like to jump into the Kong hand movie set that Faye was in. I think that would be a nice little fun, I don't know, photo op. Look, Mom, I was here. Hand jobs by Kong. I don't know.
Hand jobs by Kong?
Yeah, I threw that part in.
All right. We all know what you're going to be thinking about tonight.
Mm.
Allegedly.
And Legionnaire?
Oh, this movie is a classic in cinema. I enjoyed it the first time I've watched it. I've enjoyed it pretty much every time I've watched it. I always marvel at it. So this one for me gets 9 marshmallows shaped like Fay Ray's wig.
Yes. Yes.
That wig was tough.
Right?
Yes.
Especially from the 1930s, because, it wasn't anything, it wasn't Brazilian.
Mm-mm.
I mean, when were lace fronts invented?
Not
Right.
in the 1930s.
Right. We know it wasn't a sew-in.
It was impressive. I will co-sign with the 9 Empire State Building shaped marshmallows. It's good from beginning to end. It is a classic. It is iconic. It is rewatchable. It is entertaining. It is movie magic. It is a marvel. It is all the things. So yes, I will co-sign with the 9. It's just, I mean, it's a really well done movie that almost 100 years later is still entertaining and it's still a marvel to watch. And I mean, as we've all kind of said, I mean, the legacy of this movie, I mean, the fact that there are still Kong movies being made. There are still, theme park attractions out there that are King Kong oriented. Like, the legacy that this film created is incredibly impressive.
Hmm.
And on that note, it's time for everyone to report back to their cabins. Your bunk beds are waiting for you. Join us next time for a brand new installment of Summer Camp. Here's one of our campers on our PA system with a few announcements.
Thank you for the intro, and sorry for the microphone feedback. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Summercamp. Follow Poppy Chula Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Poppy Chula Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality or blog contributor? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through iTunes. Just search for Poppy Chula Radio Summer Camp and subscribe. Back to you, camp counselors. Oh, not again. Sorry for the feedback.
Thank you. My fellow camp counselors, please wish our campers and the listeners a good night, starting off with Osiris,
Good night, everyone.
Parker,
Good night.
and Legionnaire.
Good night, campers.
Thanks for tuning in. Good night and lights out.